right, so we are ready. Our chocolate is tempered. We're ready to pour that on. I was going to fill this cavity, but then I came up with a really cool idea. I got some cocoa butter, melted it down. I'm mixing it with that powder so we get a nice, I'm going to do a nice, I guess a rose gold, I would call it, similar to rose gold's color for the shell on these next ones that I'm going to do. That'll be kind of fun to experiment just a little bit. I'll still do a layer of chocolate. I'll do a layer of this, but I want to do, I love experimenting with colors. Make sure that this is completely covered and get any little bubbles out that might be lingering. Alright, I'm going to use this scraper this time, because why not? I'm going to try to scrape as much as I can into the bowl, just less to clean up later. And I didn't do it well. It's awkward sometimes with these because you have to hold it somewhere, and you also have to clear the entire top up. So now I'll just go ahead and do a complete sweep, and hope I'm not wrecking anything. And that's why it's so important to have the top completely clean. Otherwise you get that dragging, and when you go back over it, it tends to not work out very well. But I do have to. And I don't like doing this at all, but it needs to be done. Okay, so grab a paper towel, that's probably easier. To clean that off. You do want a very clean blade. So it'll, that's what you want, I mean mostly. When you get that pull of the chocolate, then it kind of, when it goes to unmold, these little pieces that are sticking out are going to kind of prevent it or make it more difficult to come out of the mold. As you can see, they do look very nice. It's done proper. You don't like that dragging. And this part here, if you can see there, there's some chocolate that's stuck. Alright. Just a little bit here. I need a bigger kitchen. Just want to get that little bit there. That's these chunks here. This is what's stopping right there. Little bits. This is gonna, I'm gonna get better with time. It's gonna take me some time to perfect it. I want everything to happen now. Unfortunately, that's not how the real world works. Alright, so I'm going to leave this for now. We're gonna set it up over here. Get some time. Just gonna scrape off some of this chocolate here. But I want to show you what I want to do. That other one. I still haven't completely decided on the filling. I might actually just do that pistachio coconut filling that I did yesterday. I still have quite a bit of it left. As you can see, that's on the underneath. Try to keep these molds clean inside. If you happen to touch it on the inside with your finger, and that chocolate is nice and shiny, it's going to show that fingerprint. So, speaking of shiny, I do have some cocoa butter that has some powder in it that is like iridescently shiny. It's actually too shiny, so I am going to go get some more cocoa butter and melt it down. The great thing about this is if I make a big batch, I can let it harden and use it on another project. Actually, come to think of it, that would have looked really nice on there as well. So just bear with me, I'm just going to run and grab some more. I keep it all downstairs, so So this is what the cocoa butter looks like in hard form. I buy it by the bag, or a box. It's about 11 pounds in a box. And it lasts me, depending on how much chocolate I'm doing, probably a month, if that. Actually, no, probably not. I'm probably down 3/4 already. But I've done a lot of chocolate lately, like a lot of chocolate. Of course, with it being Mother's Day, and I just started selling in a store a couple of weeks ago, just that week before Easter. And then I've got markets that I'm doing, so I have picked up the pace on the chocolate making as best as I can with, okay, that fell on the floor, so we're not even going to bother using that. I didn't weigh it out. I'm not worried about measurements. I just want to make sure that color is evenly dispersed with the cocoa butter. So the cocoa butter has no flavor to it. Like, it smells like chocolate. It smells like cocoa, like really strong, but it has no sugar in it. So it's not gonna taste like white chocolate per se. But this is how I make white chocolate. I mix this with the sugar and the milk powder, and that's what gives us white chocolate, or as I call cocoa butter, cocoa butter candy, cocoa butter bars, whatever. Alright, so I am going to need to get another container to melt this down. I'm running out of containers because I use them all day, and then if the dishwasher doesn't get run the night before, then I end up having to hand wash quite a bit. Thankfully my husband did the dishes in the dishwasher last night, so I thank him very much for that. Alright, so I'm just gonna, for time's sake, I'm just melting this in the microwave. I go 40 seconds, 45, and then stir, and then air a 25-second burst. I just don't want to like cook it, right? Get that going, and then while that's happening, I'm gonna wash my hands. I do want to unmold those flowers and see how they are. Now, I'm melting that cocoa butter. I'm going to add it to that stuff, but we still have to wait until it's tempered, right? So anyway, I have this, so that's not so bad. I can use that as a surface, or I can just pop them out. I still want to be careful because I don't know if all of them are going to turn out as pretty as that one. So once again, I go around the mold and just kind of pull it apart from that. Make sure, and then the bottom, just push a little bit. This one's not as, doesn't feel like it's separating as easy. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Oh, and that one has more blue to it. There is more blue. I don't know. From the camera angle, it looks like it really shines. Well, this one shines. This one, yeah. Here, I just hope sorry, I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm just stirring up that cocoa butter. This is like the best part of my day, is when I'm doing 100 things all at once. I really, really enjoy what I do, and making pretty things is a wonderful feeling. Yeah, it's just a piece of white chocolate, cocoa butter. Just thought I might as well separate all of them first. Let's do that again. So, how I got into making chocolate was Christmas time. I thought it would be fun, instead of doing baking, which I do every year, I did that too, but I thought I'd give people chocolates instead. So I decided to go on this adventure of making chocolate. And I didn't want to make the boring chocolate. I wanted to do something filled and fun. So researching online on how to make gourmet chocolates, I stumbled upon sites that were bean to bar. Of course, I was working full time, no chance of doing any bean to bar anything. These are so pretty. So I found a few recipes and got a few molds, just regular molds, and made some chocolates for staff at work and for neighbors and friends. But that was the end of that. But then I lost my job in January and thought I need to find a way to make some money at home. So I started making the soaps and then realized everybody is making soaps. But not everybody's doing bean to bar. So I looked into it and realized that nobody in southern Alberta, as of right now, is actually making chocolate from the cocoa bean. So I did more research and figured out some of the supplies that I would need, the basics I would need. So I ordered the cocoa beans and ordered some cocoa. I ordered cocoa beans and I also ordered cocoa butter, and I ordered the nibs, and I also ordered the liqueur. So I had every stage from bean to essentially, well, then of course I made the bars. But I wanted to see the varying stages. So I made chocolate from cocoa, which I've done 1,000 times. I used to make it with honey, which is actually really good. And I did find a way that I could potentially do it with the beans. I just haven't been brave enough to try, or really had any downtime to try. So this summer, I actually plan on attempting it when things have slowed down a little bit. Anyway, these is the first batch. I do like the way they turned out, that iridescent beautifulness. And this chocolate surprisingly is not hardened yet, so, but that is not going to be even close, so we're going to have to retemper it. But yeah, I completely do not know where I was. It's funny because I use the fork and that iridescent is still on the spoon, so we're getting that already, that iridescentness to the just cocoa butter, which is actually really pretty too. That would make a nice, like, actually you can make sunflowers with that. Very nice. But you don't want to just make that and have somebody just eat this. I mean, it'll be nice for a coating, but it's not something you're going to want to make into a chocolate unless you're actually going to do chocolates, which I added just a little bit of chocolate to that. I bet that would be good. Guess we'll find out, huh? I don't think it's going to change the color too much, but it'll give it a little bit of a flavor, and that is lovely. Now, if it's poured when it's tempered correctly, I mean, even with the swirl, I actually do like. That'll really make a pretty chocolate. And yeah, so I haven't decided yet completely what I'm going to do there, but anyway, story of chocolate. I had all the ingredients that I needed and realized that I couldn't make it by hand with the beans. I actually needed a melanger. Research, found a place in India, ordered it, and I get it, and very first batch shuts off after 30 minutes. So this has been an ongoing battle with them for a very long time. I'm still have not heard a resolution yet. They haven't refunded my money. They haven't sent me a new one. I don't care if they send me a new motor, something, anything, but I have got nothing. Back and forth, just another story. But anyway, so I'm making do with it. It's just taking longer, and I'm just making sure that I do more prep work before that goes in a melanger. And this peanut butter machine, if you want to, you can check back on my videos. I do have videos of the peanut butter machine. $5 off the buy and sell. I bought it, and it is invaluable. The thing was built in the 70s for making peanut butter, and it takes my nibs and turns them into cocoa liqueur in no time. It's pretty quick comparative to some of the other things that are used, that people use to make cocoa liqueur. So I'm impressed with it, and it makes my job that much easier in the end, which is how I can make all this pretty chocolate. So these turned out pretty good. I'm happy with them. Just a couple of little not sure about. I did lose a little petal on this one, so not a big deal. There's a couple of little nicks off of this one here, looks like. And of course the lines in there, with that pink chocolate, it hardened pretty quickly, so it didn't actually get a chance to fill in completely, so it's not perfect. But I do think they kind of adds character that way. Yeah, these are great not only for Mother's Day, but spring anything, I think. They're adorable. And looks like somebody's at my house, so I will be back.